You're listening to the Airline Pilot Guy Show.
The view from our side of the cockpit door.
WAPG. It's the Airline Pilot Guy.
Airline Pilot Guy, episode 713.
Yeah, he's up in the sky. It's the Airline Pilot Guy.
Hello, you're listening to the Airline Pilot Guy Show, the view from our side of the cockpit door. I'm Captain Jeff, your host, broadcasting live from APG headquarters in Roswell, Georgia. Today's show was recorded on the 25th of June, 2026.
Yeah, he's up in the sky. It's the Airline Pilot Guy. Get your light and he's flying by. With the Airline Pilot Guy.
In today's episode, great situational awareness by a Delta Airbus pilot crew averts a potential serious conflict at Boston's Logan Airport. A NetJet's business jet crashes on a Texas highway near Laredo, Texas. More news and your feedback. So get all settled in. Tray tables and seat backs in their upright and locked positions. Electronic devices powered on. Flight 713 is ready for pushback. Welcome to the Airline Pilot Guy Show. It's an aviation podcast covering the latest in aviation news and answering your great feedback. I'm Captain Jeff, a former U.S. Air Force pilot and retired Delta Airlines captain. And joining us from his home studio in the Air Capital, low and slow pilot, A&P mechanic, old airplane enthusiast, and engineer in the aerospace and defense industry, it is Nick Camacho.
Hey, Captain Jeff. Glad to join you guys today, but this is the first time I've ever been at the top of the seniority list.
Yeah, it's great. Great to have you with us.
Everything.
Yeah, all right. And also joining us from the North Woods of the Atlanta suburbs, race car driver, self-taught chef, commercial multi-engine instrument-rated pilot with an interest in anything that can kill him. Enough horsepower that can kill him. I can see that Captain Nick has been adjusting your...
Has he been fiddling?
Yeah, he's been fiddling around. Even though he's not here with us today, he's still kind of here with us. Anyway, it's Alpha Juliet, AJ Schramm. Hello, sir.
Hey, everybody. Good to see you guys. I feel like it's been quite a while since I've been here early enough to actually hear my intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice to be on time.
You're here. Yeah. Well, it's a special show. You know why? You know why it's a special show? Well... we have this gentleman who lives just north of Oshkosh, Wisconsin. He is the Director of Communications for the Experimental Aircraft Association. We know it as the EAA, and he's been doing that in that position since 1992. It's Dick Knapinski. Welcome, Dick.
Oh, thanks so much. Boy, this is some of the best intros I've heard for a podcast. We do quite a few of them, but you guys get into this.
Don't worry, It goes downhill from here.
Okay.
Thanks.
So get your hopes up.
Don't destroy it. I mean, come on. It's perfect. The whole thing is very highly polished. Yeah, and I should say the most important part of our crew is from her studio in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, retired financier and aviation enthusiast, spreadsheet master, and our producer. It's the lovely Liz Piper.
Thank you, Jeff, and great to meet Dick. Dick and I have communicated many times over the years, but it's the first time we've sort of had a chance to be face-to-face, so
Exactly,
it's great for me, too.
It is great. Yep.
All right.
All right, you guys, I'll see you all y'all later.
All right. Thanks, Liz. Okay. So, as I mentioned, it's a special show because in just a few weeks, the big event of the year, the biggest in aviation, is AirVenture, sponsored by the EAA, and the Director of Communications for EAA, as I mentioned in this intro, is Dick Knapinski, and he has agreed to join us today and tell us all about AirVenture. I know many of the people that listen to our show go to AirVenture every year, and it becomes an annual APG meetup kind of thing. Of course, it's much, much more than that. And we just wanted to have the opportunity to kind of tell some of the people who may be listeners to our show but have never even considered making that trek up to Wisconsin to enjoy this wonderful spectacle, AirVenture. And so, Dick, why don't you let everybody know what the heck is EAA and what is AirVenture? What is this all about?
Well, EAA, the Experimental Aircraft Association, organization's been around more than 70 years, founded by Paul Poberezny and friends down in Milwaukee back in 1953. They had 36 people at that first meeting. Now we've got about 336,000 people in the organization.
Wow.
And AirVenture is our little get-together every year for the membership, and we invite the public to be part of it too. And it has become the world's largest fly-in convention. If you've been there, you know what it is. It's you say the word Oshkosh, and people in aviation know exactly what it is. And if people are unfamiliar with it and they say, exactly what is it? I say it's a gathering of people and airplanes together in one place that is duplicated no place else on Earth. I mean, you'll see everything from the smallest ultralight to a 747 or a C5 and everything in between that comes in. And it really is a chance to celebrate the flight and aviation that we all enjoy for 1 week, get together and share stories and tell lies and look at what's new and what's old and get together and just have a great time and build memories and kind of boost each other up in the world of aviation and saying, yeah, we're doing good stuff.
Awesome. So is it true? I've heard this stated that at a minimum, probably a lot more, 10,000 mostly small GA type aircraft fly in for that week every year. And I've also been told that it's like for that week, the busiest airport / airspace in the world.
Right on both counts. We can park about 5,000 airplanes on the airport at Whitman Regional Airport in Oshkosh when it's completely full. And between the comings and goings of the week, we get about 8,000 airplanes on Whitman for the week. And then all the other airports in the area, Fond du Lac, Appleton, Green Bay, Wapaka, even down Madison, Milwaukee, all get airplanes parking there. And it adds up to 10 to 12,000. Nobody really knows the exact number because of all the airports involved, but we know what comes into ours and the ones nearby, and it adds up to, somebody said it represents 1/10 of all of the single engine piston fleet in the country when it's at its peak. And we do become the world's busiest airport. O'Hare and Hartsfield do about 2,500 operations a day, takeoffs and landings. Our peak day last year was right around 3,300, and we do that in 14 hours.
Wow.
Compared to a 24-hour day at those big metropolitan airports. So, that's a credit to everybody that comes in, and it is something to see. Anybody who's been at AirVenture, people love to come in early and watch everybody else land and judge the landings. And that's kind of one of those sideline hobbies that people have.
Some of you who are not familiar with AirVenture, and again, I don't know who those people are, especially if they're listening to the Airline Pilot Guy show, but may not be, may think that this whole thing is all about general aviation, but it's so much more. I mean, that's a huge part of it, probably a majority of it, but there is so much more. There's military aviation, there's commercial aviation, just about every aspect of flying I can think of. I mean, motorized, what do they call it? Paragliders and ultralights and helicopters. I mean, constantly helicopters, going around and taking passengers and sightseeing and all that kind of stuff. We even have, it's not mine. You even have a big base, seaplane base on Lake Winnebago, which is just like
one
right
of my
next
favorite places.
Yeah, that's just awesome to see all that activity over there. So maybe you could talk a little bit about the diversity of aviation that you'll be exposed to when you attend AirVenture.
Yeah, it really is. When you take a look at it, Captain Jeff is exactly right. As you take a look at it, I mean, it's everything from a one-place ultralight. Somebody's got a Quicksilver they bring in, all the way up to a C5 coming in, or the 747, or the F-22, or this year the Royal Air Force Red Arrows are coming in and flying for 3 days. All of these things take place, and it really is. I would call it aviation's family reunion, for lack of a better term, because it's got everything in there. I mean, it's the entire family comes in, and it's, a lot of people call it the Oshkosh Air Show. Air Show is one little bitty part of it. Every afternoon and 2 evenings, we have the Air Show, but it's one of the world's biggest aviation trade shows. We have more than 800 exhibitors. We have more than 1,400 seminars and forums through the entire week. We camp 40,000 people, either with motorhomes or next to their airplanes, through the entire thing. All of those things take place at one time in 1 week. And I can honestly say nobody's ever come to AirVenture and said, this is a little bit smaller than I thought it would be.
I was disappointed.
There's nothing to do.
Yeah. And, but that's it. There's just, there's so much to do. And regardless of what it is, you can make the event as big or as small as you want and just enjoy it. Is there an aspect of aviation you like? Or do you like aviation? Do you like history? Do you like technology? Heck, if you like to people watch, this is a great place to people watch. All of those things, and they draw people to AirVenture from around the world, and Oshkosh becomes the aviation home for 1 week for everybody.
I did have a couple questions. Obviously, in terms of it's easy to quantify success in terms of people and money. What are some of the other things that EAA is trying to accomplish? Like, after you guys have a second to take a breath, and maybe a week or a month after the show, you look back on beyond just the quantifiable figures. What are some of the things that you guys look at in terms of success for the show?
Yeah, that's really a great question, because there are so many things that go into that as well. For instance, people get energized. Those of us in aviation go back and get energized from this and say, wow, this is a great thing that we're doing. There's a lot of benefit to aviation around. You go back to your hometowns and you say, let's go. We're motivated to do things. Let's help preserve that airport. Let's build up local aviation and so forth. What I always like are seeing some of the stories that come out. The kids who come with their families early on, they're 7, 8, 10, 12 years old, and they come back 10, 15 years later, and they say, I came to AirVenture and now I'm in a collegiate aviation program, and I'm on airport management track, or I'm on airline pilot track, or A&P track, whatever it happens to be, all those kind of things. And they were inspired here by what they saw. So there was kind of the shock and awe factor that works into that. And those type of things are, I guess you'd call them the soft assets that come out, those stories. The deals that are made, or the people that meet, and the meetings that take place, it could be between businesses. It might be between a couple of pilots that say, oh, wow, you've got a tri-pacer too? Hey, have you had trouble getting one of these parts? And they'll say, oh, I've got 3 of them. I'll send you one. Those
Nice.
type of things start happening. And it just the friends you meet, the friends you reconnect with each and every year, the airplane stories that come in, and you always have, and I found this flying through commercial airports throughout, and I'll be wearing an EAA polo shirt, and somebody will come up and go, hey, EAA, you remember? I go, yeah. You ever been to Oshkosh? I say, a couple times, yeah. And but then I'll tell them that I work there, and then the stories will start. I've been there. My parents have been there. I've got an uncle that goes. I've got an aunt that goes. All of these things, and you create this bond, this brotherhood, this kindred spirits from everywhere, just because of that link with Oshkosh. And so we really get to be proud of aviation in a lot of ways. And beyond all the numbers and the figures and the quantification, there's that. We come out as aviators recharged and say, wow, what we do makes a difference. And what I do is important, and it's a heck of a lot of fun, and I love to share it. And those are some of the things that really come out of the event each year.
I don't think you can emphasize enough how important it is for these kind of things, especially the air show aspect of AirVenture. For so many people, including myself, going to air shows when I was a kid and just seeing the amazing spectacle of, in my case, Navy jets practicing the Blue Angels over my neighborhood in Southern California and just thinking, I want to fly. That's what I want to do when I grow up. And it's so important, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. What's so cool about it, unlike an air show, like you mentioned, you watch the airplanes and watch that, and maybe get to meet some of the air show performers. Here, there's a C-17 or C-5 on the ground. You as a kid get to walk through it. You get to talk to the crew, the loadmaster, all of these people. And, what do you do here? Well, we put tanks and Humvees in here, and they go, wow, cool.
Us as giant kids get to walk through it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Wow, cool.
It is. One of my favorite times is always usually after the afternoon air show. And about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, it's getting towards sunset a little bit. And just walking around Boeing Plaza when it's a little bit quieter and you just kind of get to take it in. There's the F-22. There's a B-29 over there. Okay, there's an Airbus 330 right there. Here's a home built. Here's a historic biplane parked over here, and it's all just in this 360-degree view in one place. And you go, wow, how did this happen? That it all came to Oshkosh and is here, and people are just enjoying it. And there's something special about that.
Absolutely. I think one of the neatest things I've found about Oshkosh is it turns into a little miniature city, or in a week, because you get all these little neighborhoods. You get the ultralight guys, and they're doing some party on Tuesday, and the Camacho Town guys are doing some party on Wednesday. And nobody's exclusive. Nobody's saying, "Oh no, you can't come to our party. You don't have an ultralight. We don't like you." Yeah. It's totally inclusive. You're walking down the street. Hey, come on over. We got gumbo. We got this. And so there's all these little neighborhoods that are totally different cultures, totally different what they're into. There's warbirds, and there's vintage, and there's all these different places, and everybody's friends with everybody else. And it's a really neat experience to watch this airport, which is normally just an airport for 51 other weeks of the year or so, become this entire built city in a week. And then by, Monday afternoon, Tuesday, it's pretty much a ghost town.
It is, yeah. You've got the semis and the forklifts at that point taking things down. But you're exactly right on that. And you mentioned before the seaplane base. You go out there and you sit there toward the end of the week and you eat watermelon and watch seaplanes swat an occasional mosquito, and then get all of that and just have this sense of, wow, this is cool. This is why I fly. This is why I got into this kind of community and so forth. And it happens like that. You mentioned it, whether it's down in Ultralights or in Camp Scholler. I stop into the South African camp and just like those people are having fun. They're serious about fun. And people ask, can we find the South Africans? Wait till about 8 o'clock. Listen for the music and the laughing. You'll find them.
Yeah, you'll know where they are.
Yeah. And so it reminds me a lot, especially them, of the World Cup fans in America right now and in North America. I mean, they're just these huge hordes, and they're just having a great time. And we do that every year. There's that kind of community, and it's pretty much like AJ said. There's that kind of community that takes place.
And then everybody goes back to their places around the world, and it's wait for next year. And there's so many secret menu things too. Like you talked about the South African camp, and I won't give them all away because you got to find out about them by yourself. But there's so many little, call it Easter eggs, that you'll find out after, and you won't find out in 1 year, all of them. You'll find out 5-6 years later. How did I never know about this?
There was one that came up, and I was talking to somebody about a month ago, and they last year discovered the cheese curd taco.
Oh, I was going to say that's probably the highlight for me.
Yeah,
I had a cheese curd taco tattoo last year.
Oh yeah, there you go. It's something, and I always kid people that we get the occasional emails. You should have some healthier options, and we do on the menus. But then we look at what the biggest sellers are every single year: cheese curds, brats, and root beer floats. Okay, you all are talking a good game, but when it comes down to it, here we go.
It's aviation vacation,
That's
so
right,
we like,
calories don't
the
count.
diet. No calories. Yeah. Speaking of our community and
health
our
and nutrition
crew and health and nutrition, it's Dr. Steph. Dr. Steph, hello.
Yes.
Okay, don't
hello.
mention the cheese curd taco.
No, I'm not a
No.
nutritionist. I don't have any. That doesn't.
Oh, that's
bother
true.
me.
I've seen her.
I've seen her eat a cheese curd taco. It's okay.
Yes. One of my favorite things as well.
Yeah. So, Dr. Steph, please meet Dick Knapinski
Dick,
from
nice to meet you. Yep.
Great to see you.
Good to see you.
Director of
Yeah.
Communications for EAA. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been listening in for a while here, so I've just didn't want to interrupt the flow of things while you guys were having such good conversation. But I know there's some questions, looks like, from the audience, so I want to make sure we get to those, and then if they don't ask what I'm thinking of, I'll ask a couple questions here at the end too.
Okay. Great. Glad you were able to join us, Steph. So MetroDoc in our live audience asks, is Oshkosh the only place there are spot landings? Like land on the orange spot, the different colored spots?
Sun and Fun may do it a little bit down in Lakeland. Trying to recall if they put the dots on, but it really became necessity for us, just the number of airplanes coming in. And when you're in a small GA airplane and you've got an 8,000-foot runway, you don't need all of that. You probably don't even need half of that. So you can set them down, and that's kudos to the pilots, the air traffic controllers, everybody involved. And because you get to Oshkosh and you're excited to be there, and somebody tells you, okay, you land on the numbers, you in front of them land on the green dot up there and do that. And we do that hundreds of times a day, but it makes it very efficient and it works very well. And it's kind of become synonymous with Oshkosh in a lot of ways. By the way, next week, the dots get painted.
Ooh,
so we'll have
event.
the new bright dots here at Whitman Regional.
Cool. Another question or comment from our live audience from Neil Lanhorn. Oshkosh is on my bucket list, probably along with every aviation fan. I'll be 50 in 3 years' time, so who knows? And by the way, Neil is in England, so it's not as convenient. Although there are a lot of folks from various parts of the world other than the United States that come and join.
Well, Neil, the Red Arrows come to America next week. Be here for about 3 weeks, so maybe if it can hitch a ride on the transport. And just join them, and you'll end up at Oshkosh at the end of July.
Yeah, absolutely. From Night Air Media, where is the best spot to do some filming? He asks.
Couple things. Yeah, it depends what you want. I mean, there's Air Show Center, which is, of course, just off Boeing Plaza. Which is always a great spot because it takes place. I actually enjoy going a little bit north or south up into like the home built, almost to the Warbird area, or down into the vintage area. It's a little bit of a different angle. You can catch the air show at that spot and some of the flybys and so forth. So I would say for a lot of the flyby stuff or things that are landing, I would head down toward the vintage area because you'll see a lot of that coming down, the military airplanes landing, the big jets landing. And then during the air show, you just don't see the airplanes directly overhead. You get a little bit of an angle and get a unique perspective on it for that. And the other thing I'd recommend is in the evening, the Twilight Flight Fest, heading down toward the ultralight area and taking a spot on the fence there because, you'll see everything from ultralights to drones to paragliders to last year, the blimp came through one time and made kind of a touch and go on a grass runway. So, all those things can happen. And so I would encourage those spots, get up on the flight line and point your camera and enjoy.
Does it count as a touch and go if the blimp is almost the size of the runway?
I'm sure. Yeah, I guess I'd have to look at the logbook exactly, but yeah, pretty close.
It rolled 1.5 feet up.
That's right. Yeah. Well, it's just a touch. That's it. You touch and you go.
Sure.
Sorry. Go ahead, Steph.
No, I was just going to say, I missed the very beginning of what you guys said. So if you already covered this, then feel free to disregard this question. But for, someone who may not have been before, a first timer, there's so many things to do at Oshkosh, but they're going, this is overwhelming. What are 1, 2, maybe top 3 things can't miss for just the general aviation enthusiast, maybe someone who isn't a pilot?
Yeah, I'd say the first thing, download the app, EAA.org/app, and that'll give you the schedules, the maps, the food stands, everything else you need to know. I would say if you come in the main gate and come down to Boeing Plaza, and then decide which way you want to go. A lot of people head up toward the north end. And if you've got, 1 or 2 days to do it, it's a speed trip. It really is. I mean, you're going through it fast. get up to the Warbirds, take a look around there, usually in the morning, because in the afternoon when they stage for the air show, they usually close it off to the public around 2:00 because of all the movement of the Warbirds. They want to keep things safe up there. So, get up there, take a look. A lot of the pilots are around there. Warbirds in review is there. Then you come down through the home builts, Boeing Plaza. You can spend a little time, go down into the vintage area, take a look at some of those airplanes, the biplanes, everything from Stagger Wings to Stearmans and so forth. And they will be there. So, you take that in. And then if you're looking to escape for a little bit, maybe out of the sun, go into the exhibit buildings, look at all the stuff. I mean, I always tell people you can buy an airplane t-shirt and go next door and then buy the airplane to match the t-shirt if you like. So it's all of those things. But if you're going to make it a speed trip in 1 or 2 days, I would say that. And if you can get there for one of the night air shows, take in the night air show, because it's a whole different world to watch a night air show compared to the typical afternoon air show. And it's something special. There's a lot of energy involved in it. And it's a heck of a lot of fun, a different perspective completely.
It's crazy.
That's great. Yeah, be prepared to be amazed. And also not just by the air show, but the fireworks at the end.
Yeah. So. Yeah, last year we had the fireworks, 600 drones, Nate Hammond flying through it, and the Goodyear blimp over the top. So I'm not sure we told our insurance people about that, but hey, it all worked.
Ask for forgiveness afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Not permission.
We all talk a lot about the air show, but another thing that EAA is a very important role that EAA plays for everyone, pilots and aviation enthusiasts, is advocacy. And with that, one of the neat things that often happens is we get to see, big legislative announcements or other types of announcements. I was kind of wondering, last year we obviously got the Mosaic announcement, and we had Sean Duffy on the grounds to do that in person. What are some of the biggest announcements you think have happened while you've been there at Oshkosh? And then how do you guys kind of handle that in terms of having, VIPs or people come in to do those?
Yeah, certainly Mosaic last year was among one of the biggest we've ever had. This is going to be my 34th one on staff. And this was one of the big ones when Secretary Duffy came in and just setting that all up. The logistics, first of all, because you get Secret Service involved, you get all of that involved. But just the weight of that announcement, what it means to the GA community. The follow-up this year, of course, some of the standards are supposed to be set by FAA. It'll be the next follow-up on Mosaic. What happens next for what we're calling Sport Pilot 2.0 and what it might bring for the manufacturers and the maintenance community and so forth. So all of that coming along. So those type of things. And what really happens is the people at the FAA and the policymakers get to talk to real pilots. A lot of them are pilots themselves, but they get out on the line and hear what pilots have to say. What are the sticking points? What are the pain points we're having out there? Whether it's things about medical certification, whether it's things about rules, aircraft certification with Mosaic. What's really bugging pilots about airports? I mean, those type of things start to come up, and it makes a big difference. And it's a place where it's informal. It's not in Washington. Everybody's wearing polo shirts and shorts instead of suits and ties. It makes a big difference when you're talking one-on-one to policymakers and policymakers to pilots in some place like Oshkosh.
Well, I tell you, AirVenture has everything, and we know that you have to leave very shortly here, but before we let you go, Dick, we're going to mention a couple of our audience members' comments, again from Neil. I believe you've had the Super Guppy once or twice. I used to be part of a group looking after one at Bruntingthorpe in the UK. A great bunch of guys still flying her out of El Paso.
Yeah, we hope to have it back again this year. I mean, they're doing a little work on it right now, but everything's looking good. That we just tell them just buff it out and it'll be fine. Bring it on up to Oshkosh.
Yeah, perfect.
That's a lot of buffing.
Well, yeah, we're not responsible for buffing. We'll just say just buff it. Yeah.
Okay. And then finally from Chuck Kelleher, went last year for the first time as a 3-hour student pilot, and now 80 hours later, I'm addicted to aviation. My goal is to fly in next year, landing on the green dot.
We'll be looking forward to that. And you talked about what are the things that are beyond the measurables. Right there, Chuck's comment is part of that. Yep. You learn, you get in the community, you feel part of that group of kindred spirits, and that makes such a difference. And that's why we do it every year, really, because it is something that is very special. I tell people either I like it or I have no transferable skills after 34 years, but here I am. And looking forward to having everybody gather again on July 20th.
Well, thank you so much, Dick, for joining us today and being part of our show and giving all your knowledge and information about this amazing aviation spectacle that you have every year. And so we'd like to give a big round of applause for you joining us, and we hope to make it an annual thing. That would be great.
Oh, would love to. Yep, do that. And we'll see you in a few weeks at Oshkosh. And remember, cheese curd taco.
Absolutely.
Cheese curd
Absolutely.
taco. Yep.
For sure. All right. Thank you.
Take care.
All right. Okay.
That is some aggressive applause. I like it.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
keeps
we had a
going.
big audience today.
I know.
Stamina.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, wasn't that great?
That was awesome.
Great to have him on, and he's so good at what he does. Obviously, there's a reason he's
It's
the
almost
director.
like he's in communications or media. Yeah.
Yeah.
If he's not, he should be.
Yeah, yeah,
Somebody get that guy a job.
yeah. All right. So hello again, Steph. Glad you were able to make it. And I guess it's time for us to move on to the news segment,
time
right?
for news. Half an hour right now.
Okay, perfect. All right. Let's go ahead and do some aviation news.
Stand by for news.
All righty, we're going to start with this one. It's, I'll set it up a little bit, but there is a video. An incident that occurred up at Boston Logan on the 20th of June, just 5 days ago. We're recording on the 25th. The Delta A319 had to go around to resolve an ATC operational error. And there's your setup. So we're going to go ahead and play a video from Bass Aviation. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to read a little bit of this before I actually hit the play button. Again, the 20th of June in Boston, Massachusetts, a Delta Airlines A319, registration November 328, November Bravo, performing flight 2351 from Dallas-Fort Worth to Boston, was on final approach at Boston, was cleared to land on runway 33 left. Meanwhile, the tower controller instructed American Airlines Boeing 737-800, registration November 316, Papa Foxtrot, flight 3161, to line up and wait on runway 27. About 1 minute later, when Delta 2351 was on short final, the controller cleared American 3161 for takeoff. Ooh. Delta pilots noticed that and went around from about 100 to 200 feet. After that, the controller asked 3161 where they were going. Wouldn't you think that they'd know? They have that little flight information strip, right? They would know where they were going. No, I know what they mean.
Theoretically.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the video started here. So Delta 2351 is on final for 33 left.
American 3161, runway 27 line from wait, traffic lands 33 left.
27 line of wait, American 3161. Boston 2351, Nimoy for 33 left.
I believe that's the final approach fix.
Delta 2351 Boston Tower, runway 33 left, clear to land, traffic holds runway 27.
33 left, right, Delta 2351.
Uh-oh.
They're showing the airplane landing ahead of him.
Runway 27, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 27, American 3161.
Delta still on final. American 3161 didn't start their acceleration immediately.
Delta 2351 going around because of American.
American 3161, where you going?
You cleared us for takeoff, 3161.
I did? Oh, sorry.
Oops.
Oopsie.
I think they have a number for that ATC to call.
Mm-hmm.
Delta 2351, turn right heading 360, maintain 3000.
Vectoring 8360, maintain 3000, Delta 2351.
American 3161, contact Boston departure.
Where's Switch, American 3161? Departure, American 3161, 1500, climbing 5000.
3161, Boston departure, radar contact. Delta 2351, kind of departure 133.0.
Departure 330, Delta 2351.
They're just not going to talk about it.
Yeah, we're going to ignore this.
Delta 2351, 3000, heading north.
2351, Boston approach, maintain 3000, turn rating 100.
Maintain 3000, right turn heading 100, Delta 2351.
After that, both airplanes continued their flights, maintaining routine phraseology, a catastrophe averted by the crew of Delta Flight 2351.
Huge props to those guys for situational awareness, actually paying attention.
You and I are thinking alike here.
Neil in our live audience says, is this one of those rare occasions when ATC gives themselves a number to call?
Oh, you could hear the dejection in that controller's voice. His soup was standing behind him with his hand on his shoulder, I promise.
And then I think it was a little rattled when he told him to turn left heading 360, unless I read that wrong or heard that wrong. But obviously they did the right thing and just turned 30 degrees to the right because 33.
That'll be a normal. There'll be a procedure for a go around usually for that situation. So that would be probably a standard phraseology for them.
Yeah. Okay.
I think what may have happened, it looked like there was two airplanes on final. There was a smaller PC-12 or something like that. It looked like, and the Delta aircraft. And just total speculation, but what could have happened in that controller's mind is that he saw the PC-12, the other aircraft, go through the intersection, clear the guy for takeoff because he just forgot about the second airplane on final, thinking that was the airplane he was waiting on. Small error could be.
That or one of the articles that I read said that the guy taking off either, it took him 40 or 50 seconds to start rolling. So maybe there was a timing issue in that controller's head. Doesn't seem like 40 seconds is really long enough to forget that you cleared someone to take off, but.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, I'm, just from a human factors standpoint, it's, you're doing the same thing all day, every day. There's expectation bias. There's just a bunch of things going on. And really it's great that the Delta crew had good situational awareness to realize that this is going to be a conflict and we got to do something about it.
Absolutely. All right. Now, the Vass Aviation said like he didn't accelerate very quickly or he didn't start his roll as soon as they thought, but still, I don't think that's going to account for the fact that it was just one of those mistakes where they just forgot, because it would have been pretty darn tight if he was trying to do one of those squeeze play kind of deals, right?
Ernest brought up a question. MetroDoc says, controller should have used the immediate word. That was something I was just thinking of just about to say. If that controller really was cognizant of a time crunch or a squeeze play, as you said, he would have said cleared for immediate takeoff. Right. And being that he didn't say that, it sounded like a very routine, very memorized transmission. So that's kind of where I came up with the idea that he as Liz said, expectation bias and confirmation bias. An airplane went through the intersection. Okay, next guy. Who's next?
Neil has a good point here.
Oh, Neil, again, I don't know. 40 seconds is enough time for me to forget why I went upstairs.
Yeah. Why did I come in here?
Exactly. We don't want to talk about that, Neil. Okay.
Next victim.
Next on our list on the news is another video. This one is involves Croatia BCS-3. That's a Airbus 220 Bombardier C-Series CS-300.
There's a preliminary report, but we're going to show the video of the incident.
Yeah, okay. This is the preliminary report for this incident, and we're going to see it on the video here. And here we go.
A little off-roading.
Okay, so we're seeing this airplane rolling for takeoff, and then
Well, now he's sliding for takeoff.
Ow! Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah, there's reversers.
Yeah, reversers
wise
are
choice.
out.
Poljetanja za Frankfurt, 130 putnika dobilo je neočekivanu porciju straha, baš kako izgleda, nimalo ugodno.
I couldn't have said it better myself, actually.
That clarifies it.
Yeah. So let's look at this. I'm going to turn the volume down on the video, and then I'm going to play it again here. If I can get my controls in view so I can do that. Okay, so bring that back to the beginning. Okay, so here we are at the beginning. Well, actually, it's not the beginning of the takeoff roll. It's quite a considerable way into its roll down the runway, probably approaching the V1 speed, decision speed. And the conditions there, it was windy, but not considerably windy. I think it was gusting to 21 knots at the moment that he was cleared for takeoff. And I think that there was something in the preliminary report that said that they had discussed as they were taxiing out for takeoff the wind situation, that it was, something they had to be cognizant of, but it wasn't something that was going to be limiting to them. It looks like they must have experienced some kind of a gust toward the latter part of this roll here. And just something that I noticed, I watched this several times, I didn't see any deflection at all in the rudder on the aircraft.
And based on the information here, it's the wind's coming from 290. The runway was runway 23. So the wind's coming from the right.
Yeah.
If they got a big gust from the right, it would push the nose to the right.
That's true. That is true. And I also do know one of my techniques, and I'm not sure how it works on this particular jet, but when I'm taking off and I have a crosswind coming from the right, I'm going to put in right aileron to kind of help with steering and directional control in the latter part of the takeoff roll, anticipating flight. I don't see that here either, but let's take a look. I'm gonna go ahead and just slowly see if I can. Yeah, here we go. I can control it. So right here, this is where something happened. We're not sure what, because the preliminary report doesn't really mention anything about why this happened. But as you mentioned, the nose kind of steers to the left, and again, I don't
kinda.
Yeah, quite a considerable bit for sure. And now I do see some of the control surfaces up, especially on the right wing. But again, maybe right there, you see a little bit of a deflection of the rudder to kind of get it parallel with the runway. But here is where they do a little bit of damage to the taxiway or aircraft or airport signage. That can't be good for the engine. And this is where they go into the off-roading stage, or at least the left main gear. And I think it also said that the left nose wheel tire actually was damaged as well. But I guess it could have been worse. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Definitely could have been worse.
And I don't know. They really don't say much at all in the preliminary report about what they
suspect. It was just an excuse to get that video up, I think.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, that could be, Liz. Anything from the crew?
Just don't do that.
No, I'd just be kind of curious when they actually rejected the takeoff, because it does look like the spoilers on the right wing are a lot more active.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it looks like the first one comes up like right as the nose is starting to swing. And then by the time they're off the runway, it seems like they've got the full setup on the right wing, but just one up on the left wing. So
it almost looks, I hate to say this, but it almost looks like when it started veering to the left, they took the controls. And I think, let's see, the C series, is that a side stick controller or is that a yoke?
Yoke.
I'm not sure. Is it a yoke?
That might be a yoke, because it's a legacy Bombardier airplane, right?
Yeah.
That was designed by Bombardier.
It almost looks to me like
by Airbus.
The reaction was like use the steering wheel to try to turn it back to the right, because that's we see everything on the right wing going up and nothing happening with the rudder as far as I can see. And then, we got to use the rudder to steer on the runway. But anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too critical. But that was interesting. Hopefully we'll get the final report and find out exactly what they determined as far as why this happened. But all right. But it was fun to watch it.
Well, based on the internet images, it looks like a side stick.
Oh, okay. A side stick then. But still, maybe they forgot that you got to use the
your whole natural motion is, I don't want to go that way. Push everything away from that.
Yeah, true. For sure.
Sorry. Anyway.
All right. Guess what? We have another video on our next news item. And I'm sure that many of you have heard this crash, or not heard the crash, but heard of it. And they're in the middle of the investigation for it. It involves a NetJets business jet that crashed on a highway outside of Laredo, Texas, I believe. This is another VAS Aviation video, Real Aviation Communications. Okay, they're showing some video of the crash site on the interstate. One fatality. There were, I think, six on board. One fatality. I guess both pilots made it out. That banging noise you're hearing is the people at the scene on the highway trying to break the windshield, but I don't think they really understand how aviation windshields work. You're not going to bust that thing. And
they were 3.5 feet from the people with the open door helping the other people out of the airplane. Mm-hmm. I feel like it was, you just look, they can get out right there. Let's help that.
Yeah, for sure. They're showing some depiction of the simulated radar returns of the flight, and no associated audio with this one, unfortunately. So we can't really hear
it was coming
why
from
they made the decision.
Cabo San Lucas, yes.
Yeah, they started in Cabo San Lucas, and they were intending to go, I believe, to Fort Worth. Is that right? Let's see. I'm trying to remind myself here. Or Austin, maybe.
I think it was Austin, I thought.
Okay.
I think it was Austin. Yeah.
Okay, Austin, Texas. So they were, short of Austin by a considerable distance, and something happened here that we're not sure yet what the problem was, but they decided they had to get the airplane on the ground sooner rather than later, and so that's why they ended up.
I don't know if you loaded either of those other videos that were in X, Jeff, but one of the reasons I put them in there was that they were showing the wreckage the next morning, and there was a lot of discussion around fuel starvation. I don't know if that was just speculation. But
no, I didn't, Liz. I'm sorry. I only put this one video in the keynote. So, but we'll have some other videos from X. We'll have in the show notes that Liz is saying. Kind of, there was some speculation regarding these videos about the fact that maybe this was fuel starvation, and even though in the video that we did see at the crash scene, there was some fire there, but it wasn't the kind of fire that you would expect, from leaking fuel, and so I don't know if that's just wild speculation regarding fuel starvation or what, but for a jet to have to make this kind of a crash landing shy of the airport or whatever kind of suggests that they've lost all power. And one of the possibilities for losing all power in a twin jet airplane is, fuel starvation, perhaps. I don't know.
But thinking about their beginning of their flight and where they possibly ran out of gas, there was a serious miscalculation or somebody really screwed up, because they were not close to their final destination.
No.
They were like less than halfway, I think. So it would be very surprising.
I don't know why. I guess
they came
this
to tell
is
me
still the video playing here. I thought it was over.
Sorry, I'll go with you. I'll go with you quietly. I'm sorry.
Party! No, that was the emergency response vehicles showing up to the crash site here. So
let's do E next, because Steffi's with us. It's the skydiving.
Oh yeah, we definitely want to do that. Okay, so again, we'll keep our eyes and ears open for developments in the investigation of that NetJets business jet crash in Laredo. We're going to go ahead and switch to jump over to Echo in the news segment. This is from Fox4KC.com. This happened in the KC area, Kansas City. A plane crash, 12 dead in Butler, Missouri. 11 skydivers, 1 pilot dead after a plane crashes south of Kansas City Metro. According to a spokesperson with Bates County Emergency Management, just before 11:30 a.m., a private plane leaving the Butler Memorial Airport turned around for an unknown reason before crashing in the area of Business 49 Highway. The source confirmed to Fox 4 that 11 of the 12 victims were skydivers. The other victim was the pilot of the plane. All people on board have died and have not been identified. A spokesperson with the Bates County Sheriff's Office confirmed multiple people witnessed the crash, including family members of the victims. So this involves a Pacific Aerospace P-750 that, as I mentioned before, departed Butler Memorial Airport in Missouri around 11:30 a.m. local time on Sunday. Air traffic services were not provided at the time, so uncontrolled field conditions. 12 people were on board. Okay, so we already talked about that. So, Steph, are you familiar with the Pacific Aerospace P-750 aircraft?
So I'll say I have never flown a PAC 750, and I have never jumped out of one. I have sat in one once when it was on the ground. That's my extent of familiarity. And beyond that, it has a Pratt & Whitney PT6 engine, which I've flown aircraft that have similar variants of that engine. But basically, this aircraft is very common in skydiving. It was actually developed as a skydiving aircraft by Pacific Aerospace. I think it's NZ Aero now. They're a New Zealand company. They use it for other things too. It's a very short takeoff landing capable aircraft, can carry relatively high payload, can climb quickly, descend quickly. All the things that we're looking for in skydiving operations. So there's quite a few of them out there. They're used commonly here in the United States for skydiving. Okay. Yeah.
Any ideas of what may have happened here? Because it sounds like it didn't get very high off the ground.
and skydiving is a small community, so I'm not going to say too much about it because we really don't have information yet. Right. But it's always 1 or 2 degrees of separation from somebody who knows someone who's seen something. But from all accounts, and this has been in the news and whatnot, it was pretty low altitude engine failure. Potentially not a lot of options for landing, return to field. Unsure if they did try to turn around and come back at a pretty low altitude. Either way, it's one of those situations where it's it's tough.
Looks like, based on what I'm reading here, it says that they got to 13,400 feet.
No, that's a previous flight. They just took information from flight radar. From what I heard, it was certainly no more than 800 feet, and that's a
okay.
Yeah, I read the same thing that AJ's talking about at first.
No, that was a previous flight of the day.
Takeoff? Wow.
That's normal. You go up to 13.5, and that's where skydivers would exit, and then there's a rapid descent. So it talks about look how crazy fast the airplane. That's normal. So the airplane's designed to do that. But yeah, there was an engine failure on takeoff, low altitude, not a lot of options for return.
Yeah. And, it wasn't, I think it can hold like up to 17 skydivers.
Yeah, the capacity is 17. So that's what it was designed for. I haven't flown one, so I don't know. Every operator probably has their own weight and balance specifications as well. But they had, 11 on board. So that's pretty typical.
Wow, what a tragedy, especially, the family members watching this thing.
And I don't know the mix of sport jumpers, so licensed skydivers, and tandem pairs potentially. I'm not sure, but it's a community activity. So people come out as families to do this stuff. So the other thing I'll mention about this, because I've seen a lot of comments online about, well, these were skydivers, how come they didn't just exit the aircraft? 800 feet is too low. You're not going to have time for your reserve to open to be able to coordinate that. That's
It's not like they're standing in the opening.
No, they're not standing in the door. The door's closed.
About to jump out.
You'd have to open the door. You'd have to coordinate everyone getting out. You don't have enough time for a reserve parachute to open. Even if you went straight to your reserve in that case, it would be
and not only that, it takes time to get 11 people out of the airplane.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't happen. When you're that close to the ground, you're not going to get all the people out
at 800 feet or whatever it was.
Right. And, there's additional adverse effects to people moving around in the airplane. And so, it's actually worse. It actually makes the scenario worse when you start thinking about that.
Right.
The same people that are confused by 800 feet and not being able to parachute down are also in the same camp with the people who think an airplane can't take off on a treadmill.
Okay.
The debate
circular
continues.
Runway.
Circular runways.
Yeah, circular runways. Let's keep bringing things back. But yeah, I know this is tragic event, and hopefully have a cause for what caused the engine failure, because by all accounts that's what it sounds like it was.
And I noticed in the article there's mention of a previous event, accident a couple years ago.
We covered that one.
We did?
Yeah, we covered that one. That was a completely different type of incident where there was a premature deployment of gear in the aircraft that caused damage to the airplane, rendering it not controllable. But they were at sufficient altitude that everybody exited the aircraft. It was a smaller aircraft, I think a 206 or 207. So fewer people, and the pilot had a bailout rig in that case, so they got out of the airplane too, and the plane crashed in a field. Probably
one of the top 3 rules of being a skydiver is don't break the airplane.
It's something that we talk about, we cover. We have the USPA has a safety day sponsored event every year where we get everyone together, as many people as we can get out, and we go over these types of incidents and possibilities and just run through all these scenarios, because it's not a sport without it's a sport that has obvious dangers and hazards, but you can mitigate a lot of them, and a lot of it is awareness, gear maintenance, plane safety for the folks in the airplane, and how to move around and things like that.
All right. Speaking of tragedies, here's one from the NewYorkPost.com. Georgia groom dies in air crash moments after departing the wedding, while devastated bride miraculously survives. So they were both together. A Georgia groom fretted about the fog before being killed in a helicopter crash moments after leaving his wedding, while his bride miraculously survived, with only cuts and bruises. Dave Fiji, 25 years old, perished Friday night after the chopper departed from what the family described as a perfect wedding in Dawsonville, Georgia. That's just up the road from where Alpha Juliet and I live, in the Atlanta metro area, so just north of the Atlanta metro, where hundreds of guests had gathered to watch him marry his beloved fiancée, Jesney. We could say it was the perfect wedding, Fiji's father, George, told WSB-TV. We couldn't ask for anything more. The couple was set to leave the party by chopper around 9:30 p.m. to head to Atlanta to begin their honeymoon. But foggy weather delayed the flight after Fiji, also a pilot, expressed concern over the conditions. He said, "I wouldn't fly. We would not fly in this visibility," his son said. But the couple and pilot ended up deciding to fly anyway, with the chopper pilot reportedly planning to cruise to a higher altitude to avoid the fog. Within minutes, the helicopter dropped out of the sky and crashed into a nearby wooded area. Both the groom, Fiji, and the helicopter pilot died, but Jesney, the bride, woke to find herself trapped in the wreckage. She said when she woke up, she was under the rubble. She woke up and saw him lying on her chest. Oh, that's horrible. She is a nurse. When she touched him, she called out to him, but he was already cold. She laid there for about 5 hours before rescuers made it to the wreck and were able to free her. Incredibly, she suffered no broken bones, only severe bruises and cuts, and is expected to leave the hospital within days. But of course, she's devastated because that was her new husband. Wow. So tragic.
Sounds like it was a bad decision.
Yes, that does sound like a bad decision. Adverse weather and that feeling where, well, these people hired me to do this and this is what they're expecting me to do. It can't be that bad. I know that, fog is usually pretty close to the ground because, basically fog is just a cloud that's on the ground. And hey, if I just get up quickly and high enough, and I can get out of it and see, clear in a million, and we're good to go.
That part of the Kobe Bryant crash?
Yeah, so that kind of does remind me of the Kobe Bryant crash out in California, where they ended up flying into very, very poor visibility or to no visibility conditions in a much more, I think, in their case, a much more advanced helicopter with instrumentation and everything else, much more advanced than probably what happened. Although I don't even know if they even mentioned in this article about exactly what kind of helicopter it was. It was just a helicopter / chopper. So I don't know. Maybe it was a sophisticated helicopter, but who knows? But they don't really mention the type of helicopter or what kind of credentials or certifications that the pilot had. Go ahead.
One of the reports that I read, I believe said it was a Robinson R66, which is the turbine version of the Robinson family.
Okay.
One of the bigger ones.
Okay.
Generally more decked out.
Okay.
Sounds like it was quite the wedding, so I would think it's probably they spent a lot of money on this.
Yeah.
Well, very sad, and one of those very sad reminders of that adage where it's better to be on the ground wishing you were up there than get yourself into
being up there wishing you were on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
All right, let's move on.
All right, it is now time for us to go to the Getting to Know Us segment. It's when we kind of get to find out what has been happening with our crew, the crew that is here today, and what they've been doing between episodes.
Steph and Nick first. Steph and then Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go with either Stephanie or Nicholas. Your choice. Which one of you wants to start us off on this segment?
I can go. When was the last time I was here?
I don't know.
A while.
I don't know either. I think, well, we took last week off, right? Or no, you guys, so there was no last week, and I think I was there the week before.
Week before.
Oh, 2 weeks.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Well, I can tell you last weekend, we actually did some skydiving. So that was fun. Speaking of skydiving, I've on a mission to stay current this year.
Guys, 1 hour.
So it's for the particular license that I have, it's every 90 days. I have to make one jump at least. So obviously more current, more better. And I had a period of not being current after last year. I didn't do a whole lot of jumping because I'd had a knee surgery the year before, and just it wasn't I didn't have a lot of opportunity last year. So this year got recurrent, and then back out this past weekend. The place where I do the drop zone where I go skydiving here, had brought in a twin otter for the weekend. We actually had beautiful weather. It was not terribly hot. So I went out and, rode along with the pilot up front for a couple loads in the twin otter, which was fun. I haven't flown one of those for a while. And then, there was a decent number of people out. Yeah, throttles up here. You get that right arm workout if you're sitting in the left seat. Actually, you're getting a left arm workout too, because it's pretty heavy on the controls. And the tiller is always fun in that with the on the yoke. Great airplane though, super fun, just very, very capable, flies great. But yeah, did a total of 4 jumps with a bunch of different folks. One that I was probably the least skilled person on, and it went well for the first 30 seconds of free fall, and then they were faster than me and doing more advanced things, and kind of got separated from them. And then a couple jumps with some younger jumpers or some newer jumpers, and actually that was quite a lot of fun because it was just some skill building for them, and good for me just to work on some basics. So we had a good time. Yeah, and other than that, work. It's not exciting.
Do you ever get confused, like, because you fly the airplane, you're a jumper dumper, and then you're also a diver or a jumper. Do you ever, like when you're flying, forget that you're flying the airplane and just go ahead and jump out?
Did you ever forget and just get out?
Yeah, just
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
If that ever
That was
happens,
the last company
I would
she
say
worked for.
stop doing.
Yeah,
this.
that would be your sign to stop. So, it's funny though. I'm the diver drivers where I fly and where I jump, we all have skydiving experience too, which actually I think is very helpful for just operational knowledge and all those things we were talking about with the other incidents, especially the gear related incidents. We're always on the lookout for those things. So, yeah,
nice. All right, very good, Mr. Camacho, Macho Man Camacho. What have you been up to, man?
Yeah, so I think I was last on about a month ago. Does that sound about right?
About right.
I feel like I've been traveling for most of this month, crisscrossing the country a little bit, but have had a chance to do some fun stuff while I was out in California for work here a couple of weeks ago. I didn't quite get current in the C-47, but I did get to go up and do a little bit of work in it and make a landing. So I still got to get a couple more landings. But that was fun. Went out and flew a T-34 while I was out there. And
is a DC-3 easy to land or not? Or it's C-47, excuse me.
It is. It just has some idiosyncrasies that make it probably more challenging for me than some people. Like for me, being mostly a small airplane flyer, the sight picture of being
you're much higher,
whatever it is, 16 or 18 feet off the ground, when the mains touch is something I really have to focus on. Energy management is really important when you're landing the C-47 because with the radial engine, the gearbox and everything, we generally don't like the propeller driving the engine. So you can't just like pull the power all the way off if you overestimate your energy or something. Yeah. So, which is not a big deal because it's a twin, right? So that's another thing I struggle with at times is I'm very much like I fly my little single engine airplanes in a manner to which I feel like I can always get to the runway when I'm in the pattern. And then in this airplane, you need to be a little more intentional about, continuing to burn energy or, do the things that you need to do as you approach the runway so that you're not high and or fast in a scenario where you got to pull the power all the way off. And then I think those are the main things. And then, actually landing it is just like a cub. It's just a big cub. So, you got to make sure you have your proper crosswind correction in if you have a crosswind. One of the interesting things, I almost mentioned it when we were talking about that runway excursion earlier in the show, but one of the interesting things about the C-47 is, it's got these big, long ailerons out there, and it's still a 1930s design. So, when you get into modern airplanes, adverse yaw is much less significant with control inputs. But one of the things that I've been taught is, like if you get in a bind in a C-47, or even somebody told me this about the T6 when the couple of times I got to fly a T6, the ailerons are really powerful. So you can actually use aileron inputs and adverse yaw to kind of help you control the airplane, because one of the things about the C-47, right, is it has a conventional tail, but with two engines. When you get slow, you don't have a ton of rudder authority. So you've got prop wash going over the elevators, but you have no prop wash going over the rudder. So that's not as big a deal on landing because you're going from a high speed to low speed regime. But I have personally gotten myself in trouble a time or two by early on takeoff. I'll get elevator authority, so I'll push the nose over to get the tail up off the ground. And I have enough elevator authority to get the tail off the ground, but then once I get the tail wheel off the ground and I'm trying to control the airplane with the rudder, I don't have nearly as much control authority through the rudder. So then I kind of start doing this action.
The elevator's flying, but the rudder is not.
Yeah.
That's interesting. The Twin Otter has a huge rudder and all kinds of rudder authority, and you can basically drive that thing at very low speeds with the rudder.
Yeah, C-47's got a big rudder also, but
just the way the angle is on the
when the tail will come off the ground at 15 or 20 miles an hour, and the rudder's not ready to play yet.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's it. And then taxiing, I always tell people taxiing the airplane's almost harder than landing it. Obviously, you can hurt yourself more landing it, but people are aware of the dangers of landing. They don't always anticipate, someone saying like, "Oh, an airplane's hard to taxi," but just because it's got a free castering tail wheel and it's got what are called expander tube brakes. So the brakes they're hydraulic brakes, but they're boosted and they've got expander tubes. So they don't perform as well as like modern disc brakes, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So controlling the airplane without burning up the brakes or, causing damage to the expander tube is a little more challenging than you might anticipate.
And I would imagine also because the only experience I have with DC-3 C-47s are ones that were based at Mobile Air Center when I was a lineman, and attaching the tug and, pushing the airplane around and moving them around on the ground. It doesn't take a lot of wind for that thing to want to start flying. It's pretty amazing. So I would imagine it's quite a handful when you're taxiing the airplane, especially in windy conditions.
Yep, definitely.
Okay. All right.
I think so. The other big tidbit of news is that I was able to, here a couple of weeks ago, I went out and helped my brother do a pre-buy on an airplane, and he bought an airplane, so he's joined me and my dad in the airplane ownership community.
Camacho Air Force.
Nice.
I've been telling everyone that it's good that my dad hasn't passed away yet, because he'd be rolling over in his grave if he knew he had two sons that both now have training wheel airplanes after beating us over the head our entire lives about how much he loves tailwheel airplanes. But yeah, he got a Cessna 175 with a Lycoming conversion and some. It's a pretty cool setup. So the 175 is essentially this is a 1959 airplane, and for those of you who don't know, the 175 is basically just a 172 with it came out of the factory with a GO 300, so a geared version of the Continental 0300, the little 6-cylinder engine that the early 172s had. And I've never flown behind a GO 300. I've flown one of the bigger geared 6-cylinders before, but from what I've heard from people, the GO 300 was a fine engine if you had one person operating it and they knew how to operate it. But it was because of the gearbox and the associated kind of intricacies of operation, it was easier to damage. So it wasn't really as desirable in the role that airplane, held in terms of being like a flight school airplane. It wasn't quite as robust as just a standard 0300 or C-145 that came with that airplane.
Not a good idea to make training airplanes fragile.
Right. So it never really took off, so to speak, and I think they only made that model for half a dozen years.
No pun intended.
Or maybe intended.
Maybe intended.
But there have been a few various engine modifications that people have done to it, and he got his airplane has one of these Lycoming conversions, so it has a 180 horse Lycoming engine and a constant speed prop, and I think it'll end up being a pretty nice airplane.
Wow.
And as me and my dad have both told him, with the 180 horse and then the straight tail, it's a 1959 airplane, so it's still got the straight tail Cessna look. Mm-hmm. It'll make a perfect baby 180 when he decides to do a tail conversion to it.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Yeah, I love the 175. It's a fun airplane to fly. That was our one of our tow planes at the Glider Club. 175 with a Lycoming conversion. And does this have the real tall gear on it?
Mm-mm.
So I don't know if this.
Well, it's hard to tell. We haven't serviced the other thing about this airplane is it's been sitting for a while, so we're gonna have to do an extensive annual to it. But it looks like it's in great shape. It's been sitting inside and well taken care of. But we haven't serviced the nose strut, so the tail is obnoxiously high to me. But I'm not hoping, but I know when we get the appropriate stance on the airplane, it'll look a little more normal.
Yeah, the one, I don't know if ours is modded or what. I don't know a lot of the deep history on it, but I can just about walk underneath the wing of ours without stooping at all. I can walk up standing up straight. I'm 6'2" plus, so can't do that on a 172.
I think, I'm trying to think. I think that's probably pretty close to my experience as well. So maybe it is.
Yeah, the ones I think it was the 175. The main gear is just very long. It looks proportionate. It doesn't look extra spindly or anything. It's just
doesn't look obnoxious.
Yeah, you walk up and you get in it and you're like, wait, why didn't I hit my head on anything? This is interesting.
This is a nicer sized airplane. It's not so cramped.
Yeah.
But that and Johnson bar flaps, so you get to pull this big bar up between the seats. It was a lot of fun.
I love the satisfying click.
Mm-hmm.
How about AJ now?
Yeah. Anything else before we move on? Okay. AJ.
I think that's it.
What have you been up to, man?
Not a ton. I did successfully do my first orientation rides flight. Took two cadets for their first,
that's right.
well, not their first rides, but their rides within their program, their track.
Uh-huh.
So that was a lot of fun. Enjoyed that. And had a really nice Father's Day. We went to, there's a place, actually we're almost over by you. You ever heard of Putt Shack? It's kind of over near Perimeter.
No.
But it's an indoor, miniature putt golf course. But it is 21st century. So the ball, each ball is tagged to the player, and it has like a transponder in it or an RFID tag. So you set it down on the beginning of the hole. It recognizes you. There's a screen. It pops up with your name. It counts your strokes, and there's like different ways you can go about each hole, and there's ways you can get bonus points, or if you hit it into a hazard, you get negative points. Liz asked if there was a windmill. There was way more complicated than a windmill. We played Connect 4 while playing putt-putt golf by hitting the ball underneath different slots, and it puts your Connect 4 disc into the spot. All kinds of crazy stuff, but really, really neat. It was actually really a lot of fun. So if you haven't had a chance, if you like putt-putt at all, or video games, or both, this combines them.
Sounds like it makes it harder to cheat when you have this kind of technology.
That's what I was about to say is my 7-year-old, she thinks she's really, really good at putt-putt because her scores always came out really good. So about halfway through the first hole, I'm like, MJ, you can't do that. It knows. Yeah. So
that's funny.
But it was a lot of fun. Really, really neat.
Nice.
And it gave us the opportunity, because it recognizes your ball and it's all, the whole system works together. You don't have to play the holes in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if there's 25 people waiting for the third hole, and there's no one at the fifth hole, you just go, oh, we'll just go play that one and we'll come back. And it's all pretty small area, but still plenty of room to move around and stuff.
Is
so
there food and drink available?
Really cool idea. Yes, Liz, there is food, drink, full bar, and really good food. Nice. It's the perimeter, that area is a little bit on the swanky side, I guess you could say.
Upscale.
Wants to be upscale, yeah. So yeah, all kinds of fancy concoctions at the bar and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, had a really great time. Went out for a nice sushi dinner afterwards. So enjoyed that. So
nice. Sounds good.
Yeah, and then just trying to get ready to fly down to Orlando tomorrow. So nice trip playing down.
Okay. A personal trip or?
Just family vacation.
Nice.
We got a connection, got a hookup with a nice condo in one of the little resorts down there for a very low price. Nice. And so Shaquila's going to drive down tomorrow morning with the 2 little ones. I'm going to work all day and then run by the house, pick up DJ, and jump in the 206. And we're going to fly it down. So we have the airplane there all week. Nice. Hopefully going to get to fly down and do the low approach over the shuttle landing facility over on Space Coast, which would be really, really cool. Do maybe some other little fun flights. There's a whole big group that's kind of all going down to the same place at the same time. So hopefully be able to connect a few of them and see if they want to go flying for their first experience in an airplane. Be kind of cool.
Okay.
So yeah, but it's I found this little airport. It's a public use airport, but all of the hangars, everything except basically the runway, is privately owned, and it's like a little condo community. Oh, wow. So it's a really, really neat, strange setup. So there's no parking, there's no FBO or anything like that. Found on their website, and it says there's no overnight parking allowed without pre-authorization. And if you want to schedule overnight parking, you have to call this person or this person. So I called up and got one of the people on the phone. And he's like, oh, you're from Atlanta. Oh yeah, come on down. We'll have a blast. I got this spot for you and all this. And it's unbelievably cheap. The other airports in the area were wanting something like $75 or $100 per night. This guy is giving me a week parking at his spot for $100.
Wow.
Nice.
Total.
Nice.
I was like, yes.
Bargain.
And he's like, oh yeah, no, we'll do 100 for the week. And I was like, okay, where do I send the money? He's like, oh, don't worry about it. Whenever you get around to, I'm like, no, we are sealing this deal right now.
Yeah, I don't want this to go away.
Before you change your mind. So looking forward to that. And he's been super helpful. He sent a map of where the spot is, a map of how to get to the airport, and then a map for my wife on how to drive from the gate through the airport and up to where the spot is where the airplane is. All of these are 3 different documents that he notated and drew. I was like, this is amazing. So
that's great.
Really looking forward to it.
Awesome. Eva, in our live audience, this is her first time here in our live audience, I believe.
No, she's been in before. But
she's been here before.
She's been in the States for a long time, so it's been a big break. She's training,
I see.
right?
Okay. So she says, I did the low approach on the shuttle landing runway last week.
Woohoo!
Very cool.
Yeah.
Eva, if you have any tips or tricks or things to know, send us an email, feedback at Airline Pilot Guy. I'd love to chat with you about it.
Mm-hmm.
This will be my first time, so.
All right, perfect.
Jeff, maybe you want to say ta-ta to Nick before you get
Yeah, Nick, if you need to bug out, feel free. I know you're busy reuniting with the family and all that kind of stuff. So, feel free to leave if you'd like.
Okay, I was going to sit through your getting to know you and then probably head out after that.
Okay, perfect. By the way, Nick Camacho speaks quite often about slow, and he's wearing a ball cap that has SLO on it. And just let everybody know exactly what it means, because when you first started saying slow, I didn't know.
It's not that he can't spell.
There's no W. You forgot the W at the very end.
I've spent some time. I lived in and still occasionally spend some time in a town in coastal California called San Luis Obispo.
San Luis Obispo.
So yeah, when I say
University
slow, that's what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
And this hat is their local collegiate summer baseball team, the San Luis Obispo Blues.
Yeah, what university is there? Is it Pepperdine or Caltech or
Cal Poly?
Cal Poly
is there in San Luis Obispo. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, not too far from Lompoc too.
Yeah, about an hour north or 45
Is that
minutes
far?
north.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Solvang's not far either? I need you to send me a Google.
Nope.
Next time you're out there.
Yeah. I love going to Solvang because my last name, Nielsen, is like Smith in Scandinavia. So
is it
lots of
Crinkle?
Nielsen.
Crinkle. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Kringle, yeah. I just wanted to mention in our live audience a comment made by Benny G. Benny G73 says, as I usually listen to the audio podcast, this is my first live session. I'm really missing Liz's voice. Yeah, see, that's when we're recording this live. He misses you, Liz. And to hear her, you have to listen to the audio only podcast, and we'll put not everything because can't put everything she says.
Welcome to the chat room, though, Benny.
Yeah, welcome to the live chat for sure. Anyway, so I just wanted to mention that. Okay. Let's see. So my turn. Did the standard singing stuff, and then Father's Day, I got to have dinner with my youngest daughter, Natalie. And we went to a very nice Mediterranean, actually Persian restaurant called Rumi's Kitchen. They have a few locations in the Atlanta area. Love it. And that was nice. And then, pretty much that's it. I wasn't really doing much other than that, singing and whatever. I went to a live concert actually on Friday afternoon, Friday early evening. One of the guitar players in one of the groups I used to sing in. He's part of a really, really good cover group. They do a lot of Steely Dan and they do some original stuff too. But the Atlanta Rhythm section, in fact, the keyboard guy has involved in a lot of the recordings of the Atlanta Rhythm section. Is that right? ARS, Atlanta Rhythm Section? I think that's right. A group back in
ARS would be the acronym for Atlanta Rhythm Section, yes.
Yes. I got it. Perfect.
I don't know if that's correct for what you're trying to refer to.
No, that's what I just said. I thought.
Maybe.
Anyway.
And you got to have dinner with two pretty cool people last week, so I thought that would have made your list.
I had dinner with you and Ben, but
I guess that didn't qualify. Okay, yeah, cool.
Okay.
Cool.
That was fun. That was right after the show recording last week. That was very nice. Yeah, I forgot about that as well. Anyway, you know what we should do? We should probably cover the show art from 7/12.
Didn't you go to an event yesterday, though, Jeff? Didn't you go?
Oh yeah. My choir director, Jane, is. Yeah, I'm sorry. Who are you people, and where am I? What am I doing here? What's this microphone? I don't even know what I'm doing. I spent pretty much most of the day yesterday at my choir director. Her husband is a professor over at Georgia State University. He's also like the director and head of the music department at Kennesaw State University for many years and really just made that program into one of the top-notch university music programs in the country. He also has been directing a band for adults 50 years old and older, and they've been trying to get me to join for quite some time now. But now I don't even have to because Chuck, Dr. Charles, just conducted his last concert for this band, the Cobb New Horizons Symphonic Band. And so now they're not going to nag me about joining that band anymore since he's no longer the director. But he was involved in a band camp at Kennesaw State University. And every year they have the New Horizons band do a concert there. And after 10 years of conducting this band and just transforming it into an amazing ensemble, he retired from that because he's so busy with so many that it was definitely a tribute to him. And we so I got to spend time with my adopted family, the Jacksons, yesterday for breakfast and the concert, and then a nice dinner late afternoon at another nice restaurant in Marietta called 1884, I believe, no, 1885. That's one of those years. Anyway.
But who's counting?
Yeah.
Your birthday? The year
I think
that
there's
you
a.
were born?
Yeah, that was my. That was the year of my birth. Yeah, thanks, Liz. Yeah.
I think there's a small.
You look remarkably young. You look
Thank you.
youthful. It's great.
All
Try to take care of my skin.
There's not a not insignificant chance that my oldest daughter may have been to a band camp with Dr. Charles because she did band camp at KSU multiple times.
Oh, cool. That's possible.
We'll have to
for sure.
We'll have to chat about that. See if that'd be kind of cool. Small world.
Well, Jeff, as the Catholic pilot, I think you should take the lead on this cover art.
Oh, okay. Since I was the Catholic pilot before I was the airline pilot guy, I will take the lead on trying to describe our show art from episode 712. And of course, one of our news items in our news segment was the Pope Leo, was riding the jump seat on an Airbus, and it was one of the Spanish airlines, right?
I think.
Iberian Airlines. And so that kind of became the basis, the main subject for the show art here. And we see the Pope
Nick's interpretation
as the captain of the ship. And I don't remember exactly why Batman is in the show art. Do you remember?
There was some interpretation.
No, there was something about a bat. Something. I don't remember what it was either.
Okay. Well, the title is Holy Jump Seater Batman, so maybe that's why Batman's there. I don't know. And let's see. You can see in the windscreen behind the Pope and Batman, and they fly together all the time, and that's not unusual. Is a fighter jet? Looks like an F-18 coming right at the airplane, which is not
a very good escort position.
No, that's not appropriate.
Peter at Tarantelli says that F-18's closing fast.
Yes, that F-18 is closing in fast. In the news item, of course, they were being escorted by an F-18 on their left wing, and it wasn't coming right at them like we see in this show art. So now we're looking at the throttle quadrant in the zoomed in view, and instead of throttles 1, 2, 3, even though there are only 2 throttles, but I guess these are, fuel shutoff switches, maybe? I don't know what that third one's for. But anyway, you had to have 3 digits here because the show number 712 is there, 712, so that was kind of clever. What is...
It's the penguin,
the
Batman
penguin
from
Penguin.
The penguin. The jackass penguin is the penguin from the Batman
Very clever,
series.
Captain Nick.
Yeah, wow! I didn't catch that. There we go. Very good. On the seat headrests is the show logo. By the way, if you want to go back, there you go. There's the show logo behind Batman, and also one behind Pope Leo.
I guess he was showing the fighter up close.
Yeah, I guess that's the close up of the. And then in the background on the windscreen on the right side is the Vatican. I'm assuming that That's what we're looking at.
Wow,
This
do
airplane's
they
kind of
seem
flying
slightly
low.
low?
Yeah,
a little
bit
low on the glide slope there, I think.
Speaking of low, there's some video been circulating in the aviation social media, and that maybe we'll talk about it next week. I'm not sure, but there's a 777 doing a very, very low fly past, or whatever you want to call it, and then banking, and it looks like the wing tip looks like maybe gets 3 feet from the ground. That's a little close.
As Jimmy Buffett said, or Stephen Stills before him, might have took the mesquite right up off the sand.
Okay, did we get everything in the show, Art, Liz, I guess?
Oh,
okay.
Now Peter Tarantelli has a good comment here.
Oh, Peter Tarantelli
Captain
in our
Nick
live
missed
audience says,
something here.
opportunity miss. Cedar could have been spelled SEE-TER, as in the Holy See. The Pope.
Wow,
yeah, Peter, that's getting a little bit too
that's
sophisticated,
subtle,
I think. Yeah, just
good.
much
Ain't
too
that
clever.
smart?
No, what?
Okay.
Holy See? Oh, yeah, I see the Holy. Yeah.
Benny's giving him a slow clap.
Benny
for that.
G, slow clap for Peter Tarantelli. Yeah, a very slow clap. Yeah, in fact. Okay, there's that kind of sarcastic laugh that goes along with the slow clap. Okay, let's do some coffee fun. Here we go. Dun, boom, boom, boom.
Johnny, how much more coffee?
No thanks.
I love coffee, I love tea, I love the APG community. Coffee and tea and the Java and me. A cup, a cup, a cup, a cup, a cup. Oh yeah, the coffee fun, it's your way. But let's start off by saying we don't have advertisers on the show. It's all free, and so there's no need for you to support us financially if you don't want to. But some of you do want to, and we have a mechanism for that called the Coffee Bar Club, the Coffee Fund. And the OG method is something we call, it's called PayPal. And a couple of folks used that to support our show between episodes here. And this was Ara Ashburn? Is that the way you pronounce ARA? 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 I don't know. It's a beautiful name. And Ernest Holiday, MetroDoc, who is in our live audience right now. So thank you very much to the both of you for your generous contributions to the Coffee Fund Classic method. The other way you can support the show is via Patreon, and you can determine a certain amount per creation, per episode. And so information about joining Patreon or using the OG method, the Coffee Fund Classic, can be found by heading over to airlinepilotguy.com/coffee. Thank you very much for your consideration.
Captain, incoming message.
We're going to start off our feedback segment with this from Eugene, Houston. Discussion on United pilot fired, cleared up. He's very formal. Airline Pilot Guy podcast, comma. I was just listening to APG 712 and the discussion about the United pilots fired while letting the Colorado Rockies coach in the flight deck. And I wanted to clear up some confusion over the ASAP program that was discussed. Yeah, I was hoping nobody would notice how much I kind of screwed up that. First of all, the ASAP program is an FAA program. Now, when you submit an ASAP, they can also submit a NASA safety form for you. Oh, I didn't know. That's something new. Okay, and there's a feeling amongst a lot of pilots that the ASAP program is a get-out-of-jail-free card, and it's not. So to clear up the ASAP program, there are two types of reports, sole source and non-sole source. The difference is a sole source report is the FAA only knows about the violation due to the report, and a non-sole source is the FAA knows about it through other means. For example, I contact LAX Tower on approach and they say continue, and I land without a clearance. Even if I fill out the ASAP report, the FAA can't use my ASAP report to violate me, but they can grab the LAX controller tower tapes and even the controller's statements and still violate me. Oh, okay.
That sounds personal and high stakes.
Yeah, wow. Okay. So the pilot wasn't fired by the FAA. No, I hoped that we made that clear. She was fired by United, yes. So I think she is complicating two separate issues. Oh, the lady that was in the news segment, I think. He's talking about she. Also, Jeff did mention that the ASAP report can't protect you from willfully breaking the rules, which she should know, the rules about non-crew members in the flight deck during flight. Okay, she is the captain, I think, now he's talking about. So if the FAA decides to violate her, they cannot use the ASAP report unless the FAA deems that she knowingly broke the rules. But they can use the pictures on social media, as those are free game. Okay. If anything, ASAPs are more used by the airlines to find trends and use yearly training to help fix those. Yeah, it's a safety tool for sure. An example is my previous airline. We were getting a lot of missed crossing restrictions because ATC would say, quote, cross XXX at flight level XXX. And crews were only 2,000 feet above the crossing restrictions, so they decided to stay the higher altitude to save fuel, and the VNAV didn't mark the top of descent until darn near on top of the fix. Our aircraft didn't have autothrottle, so we would have to manually start the descents. The company came out and said, if the descent is 4,000 feet or less, the fuel savings are negligible, so just go ahead and head down so you don't miss the crossing restriction. Yeah, that's good advice. That's kind of what I did too. I filled out ASAP reports when I messed up, and I've filed both sole source and non-sole source. No, you don't fill in a box saying which one, but one non-sole source I filled out because ATC pointed out my mistake to me on the radio. And when they are filled out, a company representative and an FAA representative, and I'm sure a few more people, go over the report, and luckily every single one has been sent back to me, quote, no further action required. Yeah, that's the one you want to hear from those. Hopefully this clears up some of the confusion. That's Eugene Houston, Southwest Airlines Boeing 737 first officer. Yeah, so...
that's great info.
Yeah, very, very good info. So thank you very much. And yeah, I'm sorry. I know when I was listening, when I was editing the show, I thought, I'm not sure I was really, really clear and accurate about my description of the ASAP program and what it is and what it isn't. But so thank you for clearing. And that's the best. I think one of the best things about doing the show is that you, the audience, the community, are a part of the show, just as big a part of the show as we, the crew, are. And we always appreciate the fact that you're listening to us. And when we say something that isn't quite right, like we're not quite hitting that 50% accuracy target, you chime in and help us out, straighten us out. So thank you very much. We do welcome that for sure.
And
yeah.
one clarification there. I don't know that we've said it the last time we talked about this or this time, but the ASAPS is the Airline Safety Action Program, and then the NASA report we're referring to is actually an ASRS, not called a NASA. It's done by NASA.
Yeah, but we always just refer to it as a NASA.
Yeah, it's Aviation Safety Reporting System.
Yes.
Report to NASA.
That is true. And I guess it has nothing to do with space, but has everything to do with aeronautics, I guess. National
Probably.
Space and... What's that, sir? The National Aeronautics and Space Administration?
It's the Aviation Safety...
Okay.
Yeah.
I got it.
ASR.
Yeah, give me enough time and I'll get it. Thank you. Shut up. All right. The next item in our feedback segment is a video. Okay, here's the setup. This is from Robert Thompson, who is in Tucker, Georgia, sharing war stories and photos from a little historic gem right around the corner from our hotel in Brisbane, Australia, on our trek down under. And so he gives us a link here, and we're going to play a little bit of this video from Robert.
Hey, so I wanted to share these photos and a bit of a commentary. Made it our way through Brisbane when we were doing our little tour of Australia, and came across the Douglas MacArthur, I think they're calling it the quarters there, right in the downtown area of Brisbane. About 1942, I understand MacArthur, was told to, get out of the Philippines and head down to Australia. I think he went to Melbourne first, but decided that was a bit too far south, so made it a little further north up to Brisbane. And about from 41 to 43, I understand about 150,000 Americans made their way through Brisbane, because that was a bit of the headquarters, from the South Pacific. Quite the influence there. But the building was an insurance company building that he happened to take over, and the floor where you've got the photos and the office and so forth stands well preserved. It's that floor of the building, but also it's a bunch of apartments today that are being used. I think they can be used like as Airbnbs if you want to go stay there. But they did have the risk of being torn down. But thankfully, because there's quite a bit of woodwork, native wood that is just beautiful, especially in that office, that is still preserved to this day. There were some very nice tour guides that took us around the little museum they have there. They share some stories that MacArthur was not really a popular choice. Probably they would have preferred one of their own to lead that, understandably. And they kind of described him as a Trump of his time. He had a photo of Washington behind his desk, not Roosevelt, which was one of the interesting side stories. Another bit of something that jumped out at me was the Japanese war currency. Apparently, when the Japanese would take over an area, they would put out their own currency, I guess, as a strategy to, take over all the existing currency, because I guess they had some use for their, war needs. And then also all those Americans making their way, through Brisbane and what have you, they're calling it what they said the Battle of Brisbane. So all of the war rations and everything that were going on that the Australians were going through, and I think there was a mention of austerity, there was a concern, and probably rightfully so, that some of the American soldiers were getting better treatment and access to better supplies. So there was quite a bit of infighting, I understand, and they called it the Battle of Brisbane, but it was actually just a little battle between the Americans and the natives there. So quite a bit of history, and it's pretty cool to even be able to sit at that desk that is still preserved. But I thought I would share this with the crew. Quite a bit of history there, and quite a bit. I'm glad I was able to see it. So have a good week, and thanks for sharing the story.
I'm glad that you were able to see it, and I'm glad that you were able to share it with us. And that was not a statue or wax model of MacArthur sitting behind that
wax
desk.
Model?
Yeah, it was actually Robert Tucker. No, Robert MacArthur Thompson. Yeah,
I thought it was AI of Robert.
Yeah. Anyway, so cool. Interesting information about how they felt about Mr. Douglas MacArthur.
I wonder if that's an Australian opinion or an American historian opinion. I don't know.
I don't know.
It was an interesting comparison.
Yeah, I'm guessing that information came from what he learned in Australia.
Yeah.
So
But where did that information? Anyway.
Where does any information come from?
I don't know.
Anyway, thank you for sending that in, Robert. That was
subject
very,
we don't want to talk about.
Yeah, we won't touch that.
Yeah.
We'll touch that.
All right.
Let's do number 7.
Yeah, thanks, Robert, for sending that in. Very informative, as always. What now? It's number 7?
No, number 7, sorry. Number 9, Tarantelli.
Number 999. Oh, yeah, Peter. I think he's still here with us in our live audience, Peter Tarantelli. Oh, the J number. Oh, okay. Here we go. The J number, of course, stands for the Jeff number. And just a reminder to everyone, if you've never heard of the J number or the Jeff number, it's kind of like the Mach number. It's like, except that it involves not flying through the air, but flying on the ground, taxiing very quickly on the ground, and it's a ratio between your actual speed compared to the speed of your calculated rotate speed, I believe. Is it rotate or V1? It's one of those.
V1.
V1,
okay, V1 speed. And so if you're taxiing around at your V1 decision speed, then you're at Jeff 1.0. And so he sends us this flight radar picture graphic of a FlexJet taxiing out, and we're looking at the ground speed readout of 33 knots. And Peter has a comment here and says 33 knots. This guy's getting there. Yeah, for sure. So I would imagine that's pretty
not too slow.
Yeah, it's pretty. But V1's got to be what? Probably around 100 knots, 105. So yeah, so it's not that impressive. Honestly,
it's not nearly what you did, Jeff.
No, nowhere close.
But I mean, these people are the J number. They're aspiring to it now. It's something. It's a
Can
goal.
anyone really get close to the J number other than Jeff?
Right. Well, but now we can quantify it, and we can really build a database to understand.
I love it. I love that people are actually looking out there and thinking of me and my Jeff number.
You've left your mark.
We need to get some Southwest
evaluate trends. We need to start stocking.
Peter, go on FlightAware. See if you can find some Southwest jets and get us some data on Southwest, because those would be a lot closer to J.8.
Yep.
We should get Eugene Houston, the Southwest first officer, to.
Yeah, Eugene. Yeah, start catalog.
He could tell us if there's a procedure. Is there an assigned J number depending on the flight?
Yeah. I'd be interested to know if that is part of their training program now. Talking about the J number.
This isn't really J numbers, but I mentioned we had brought in that Twin Otter that was not our aircraft that I was jumping last weekend, and it's not uncommon in jump aircraft to have kind of a guide for skydivers to know their how much space you want to leave between jumpers, and it's based off of ground speed. The faster the ground speed, the quicker you need to get out because you're covering more distance across the ground. The slower, get more time. That provides more horizontal and vertical separation, right? So this aircraft had the standard chart, going from 115 knots all the way down to very, very slow stuff. But they also printed the seconds that you would generally give between jump groups. And then they also said what this means in plain English. So 115 down to 95 was get out now. Don't delay, just go.
Some nice clear instructions.
Clear instructions. Then it went all the way down to 30 knots or something pretty low.
Pour a coffee, light a cigarette.
And one was, why are you jumping? And the next one was, why are we flying? It got very slow. I thought that was I should have taken a picture. It was very clever.
Jump now. The airplane is stalled.
Yeah, exactly. No, give it, could take a minute between groups because you have to give horizontal separation in that case, vertical separation in that case because you don't have the horizontal separation.
You're flying into that much of a headwind or something.
Correct. Yeah. You're basically watching people's parachutes open and they're like, all right, our turn. Here you go.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah. All right. We're going to jump to 12 because he is, MetroDoc is with us, Ernest, in our live audience as well. And this is Retirement Salute. Hello, APG gang. I saw this on social media and have never heard a radio salute for a retiring captain from such an unusual source. Does this happen a lot? Keep up the great work. And just spoiler alert, no, it really doesn't happen that often as far as I recall, in my experience anyway. So let's look at this video that he sent us a link to. And here we go. There it is. Okay.
Good morning, United Airlines Flight 842 from ARF-1. Is there a Captain Mark Russell on board today?
Yes, sir.
Sir, do we have permission to salute you today?
I would love it.
Captain Russell, on behalf of the Los Angeles City Fire Department, Fire Station 80, we would like to congratulate and honor you for your incredible 41-year career with United Airlines and your final flight today. We understand you have a very special crew and some special travelers with you today, including your wife and First Officer Stephanie, your sister Christine Davison, serving as one of your flight attendants, along with Caitlin Russell and Jennifer Peterson joining you for this memorable occasion. Having family and loved ones beside you for your final flight makes this moment even more meaningful. Captain Russell, thank you for your dedicated professionalism, leadership, and dedication to your passengers and crew, and you have safely guided over your past 41 years.
Thank you all. I'm choked up right now, but thank you very much.
Sir, from all of us at Fire Station 80, the Los Angeles World Airports, we wish you blue skies, tailwinds always, Godspeed, and a well-earned retirement with your friends and family.
You folks are all wonderful. Thank you.
And thank you all. This is his wife, Stephanie, the First Officer, and we're all in tears up here.
Thank you, and have a awesome retirement.
Thank you.
It's a
I'll
perfect
still be
start. It's a perfect start for me. Thank you.
That's awesome.
That was
very cool. Nice. You're muted, Mr.
I know. I realized.
Alpha Juliet.
I was muted too.
Wait,
but I said that was fantastic. Very. I don't think I've heard anything like that.
I've heard from like the tower or controller
Sure.
or whatever, but not from the airport fire and rescue.
I wonder if it's drought related, since they probably shouldn't be spraying all the expensive water.
Oh,
in
so
LA.
they're using words instead of water.
Mm-hmm. They're showering him with their words.
Oh,
I like it.
Very clever.
It's the words instead of water program at the fire department.
Yeah.
How funny would it have been if they said, "Is there a Captain Mark Russell on there?" No, wrong plane.
Yeah.
Wait,
I don't think so.
Hey, Joe, thought you said it was this one. Yeah.
Let's finish off today with number 4, the video from Tim Van Ram.
I was going to suggest the same thing, Liz. We're going to go ahead and cap this feedback segment off and this show off with this from Tim Van Ram. It's a video, and it involves a lot of people that watch and listen to the show are plane spotters. They like going out and watching airplanes and stuff like that. And we've talked about this comedian before, Matt Lyons. And he is just hilarious, and you'll have to watch the watch the video itself. But we're gonna play. The audio is pretty funny. So let's.
I want to make sure people know that this. I have never been this person. It's not accurate in the slightest.
No,
I've never done this.
Not at all.
He protesteth too much.
You do protest too much for sure. Okay, here we go. Let's hear Matt Lyons, who is actually his character name is a little bit different. See if you can pick it up.
Actually, you know what? It's Lethargy Airways Flight 1738,
Lethargy.
direct to THC in the Phlebotomin Islands. And actually, that's a 386 passenger Rambunctio jet BP 102. It's one of the newer models of Aviotechs out of Belarus. Name's Boeing, by the way. Good to meet you. So this one coming in from the north out of VCR. It's actually an apoptosified Atmo bus en route to Pimpleton Regional. Seems to be chartered too. I actually rode on one of those on a trip to Eastern Marzipan once. Super bumpy ride. Oh, you see this little guy flying directly above us? That is a privately owned triple prop wingnut Wahoo out of Pensacola. Tail number
Those are fun to
B52.
fly.
Yeah.
Looks like it's heading to the Tri-County Semi-Regional up in Babylon. Oh, that's so sick. You can kind of hear this thirst trap Transit Albatross Neo X off in the distance. It's one of the only airlines to frequently use B-class HP laser jets in their fleet. Similar to a Boeing 797, but the difference is their fuselage thrusters divert into more of a streamlined pitch on all transatlantics. So there's supposedly a regurgitated Boeing pedantic Romaldier A15000 taking off in the next hour or two. It's Bulk Pouch Airways testing out a new route from DNF to BTW. I've really only seen them flying over territorial airspace. So this should be pretty sick.
That's great.
I love this. It says at the beginning, every person who tracks planes. This is them. So he's got his phone, and he's got an app. Maybe FlightAware or Flight Radar 24 or one of those apps that help you identify.
It's probably Flight Smeller. Flight Smeller 1000. Yeah.
I think he pretty much nails.
Have any of you guys flown into Pimpleton Semi-Regional?
No, I've never been to Pimpleton Semi-Regional.
No, but I have been to Lower Marzipan. That's a cool airport.
Oh yeah, a little bumpy though. I mean, sometimes
it can be.
Yeah, can be.
Can be. I think that's pretty funny, and I love that. Boeing's my name, by the way. Anyway.
Let's wrap this baby
so
up.
Thank you very much, Tim, for that. That was funny. And by the way, check out his channel, by the way. Not Tim's, but
his stuff is
Matt Lyons is some really, really good stuff out there. Anyway, let's wrap it up by pointing you over to our website, airlinepilotguy.com, and you'll find information about the crew and the community calendar. We got a library, believe it or not. Merchandise, maybe. Yeah, sort of. And a little separate section for the old pilots' plane tales, a little bit more information about each and every one of those. So much more. Just check it out, airlinepilotguy.com. We're also on social media, or what I like to call the social medias. And Dr. Steph.
I'm here. I had a moment of panic just now because I think my internet had a little glitchy moment and you guys like disappeared and I was like,
we would have shut down. We're done.
No,
I'm not doing it again.
Can't do it. We got to get a recording of me doing this. That way, if there's
I guess so.
Panic moment or I'm away.
Okay.
Anyway, if you're a social media fan, and really who isn't these days, you can head over to any one of the following sites to see more show information. You can find the community over at facebook.com/airlinepilotguy. Also on X, we are at APG Crew. If you're looking for just the show artwork, probably that's about it. That's all that gets posted there, really. I think it's over on Instagram, instagram.com/APG Crew. And then to join in the live recordings or to watch previous recordings, video recordings, you can find that on YouTube, youtube.com/airlinepilotguy. But as always, I hear Hillel wrapping up his shower. Slack.
Hello? Can you tell us about Slack?
Okay, but I'm dripping wet.
He's always game. All right, come on over here and try not to get water all over everything, please, and tell us about Slack.
APG listeners, please join us on our Slack team. Slack is a communication, coordination, and sharing platform that works on your mobile, laptop, or browser. On Slack, we share news and ideas, we suggest episode and plain tales topics, we plan events and meetups. To get into the Slack team, please email me at slack@airlinepilotguy.com. That's SLACK, Sierra Lima Alpha Charlie Kilo @airlinepilotguy.com. Or send me a tweet with your preferred email address to @Hillel, and I'll send you an invitation. That's Hillel, spelled Hotel India 11 Echo 1, and see you in Slack.
Thanks a lot, Hillel. I don't have anything for him to say back to me. Oh, well.
He's shy and quiet today.
Except for maybe... Is your wife with you? Yeah.
That's why you didn't get a response.
Yeah. All right. And, we'd also like to thank... Come on, Liz. There she is. Liz Piper, our producer, curator, and runner of everything that happens on the show behind the scenes. Thank you so much for all the hard work.
I'm a runner too, Steffi.
I know. A more important runner.
All that stuff. And,
runner.
And we're also, we'd also like to thank our live audience, who is with us they're with us each and every week, and we do appreciate their support and shenanigans going on in the background.
And thank you to Dick for joining us today.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Dick. If you're watching/listening to the show, your presence and presentation and answering of questions was awesome, and we really appreciate that. All right. With that, we're going to go ahead and close the show. Oh, in the salute and retirement to the United captain, they almost said my tagline, like clear skies and limited visibility and tailwinds. I'm thinking, is he going to? Oh, he didn't do it.
I was really hoping he was going to say it.
Yeah, me too. So close.
Challenge Douglas.
Yeah, well, not sure about that part. Anyway, so
that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pretend that I'm the ARF crew at my retirement and say, Captain, wishing you clear skies and limited visibility and tailwinds. Take care and God bless.
Cheers, y'all.
You're welcome.
We won't see Captain Russell next week, but we'll be here.
Yeah, he's up in the sky. It's the airline pilot guy.
Good day.
I used to be such a good pilot till I started APG. I opened doors for little old ladies. I helped them to their seats. Airline pilot guy, I fly MetroDoc. Airline pilot guy, he can land in heavy fog. I got no friends 'cause I'm always flying. I just don't have the time. But I can land this old plane. I can land it just fine. Airline pilot